Hi everyone, I'm so happy to be here with Domenic from Pure Software. Thanks so much for joining me, Domenic.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. Enjoy being here.
Yeah, do you mind introducing yourself and Pure just for the people who might not be as familiar?
Sure, thank you. So Domenic Steinbrueck, I run North American sales for Pure Software, right out of the Boston area.
And so what does Pure do generally?
So Pure Software develops software solutions that enable organizations to increase productivity and improve data availability around their critical data sets. So helping orchestrate and manage file data.
I think you walking around the show would have seen digital transformation come up again and again. It's a hot topic in our industry and in tech worldwide.
Yep.
Where does Pure fit into that digital transformation?
So we fit squarely in the field of digital transformation, especially with respect to what you see from the emergence of cloud technologies today, Internet of Things, a shift from brick and mortar to more cloud-based solutions. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to the data that enables organizations to flourish.
And shipbuilding is one of those industries where our projects are so complex. There's so much information that needs to be part of that digital transformation. What's the ideal that shipbuilders should be looking for in terms of information management and making all that work well together?
Well, as far as data management, really implementing some type of a data fabric, something that can be extensible to, if you look at what's happening today, a lot of organizations are looking, outside or remote to find the best possible talent they can find. Well, how do you acclimate those users, right? How do you, drive productivity for those users? Well, if you extend your data fabric to users that might be spread out around the country or even around the world, that in essence will help drive productivity. So some type of a data management fabric that's extensible and allows users to get fast local access to that data and collaborate with users around the world.
Is there a trend where more and more shipbuilders and customers in general are asking for that kind of thing, where they do have more and more remote distributed workforces?
Absolutely. Especially, as we come out of the pandemic and this remote work from home type of paradigm that we're seeing, really the push is finding the best skilled talent that we can find, no matter where they are. Well, that presents a challenge in terms of how do I get large project files, large data sets into the hands of those users in an acceptable amount of time and in an acceptable package. So yes, we see that daily. Not to mention the need to collaborate on data. Yes, data is growing at an alarming rate, but the bigger challenge is making it available and being able to share it and do it securely.
So you mentioned you touched upon the biggest challenges doing that, but what are maybe the specific challenges that shipbuilders or others in the industry are struggling with that are preventing them from that ideal, from getting to their goal and what their sweet spot would be?
Well, I mean, the shipbuilding industry traditionally has been very brick and mortar, right, and relatively conservative. Really, it's moving into maybe the appropriate cloud technologies, looking at different types of vendors that provide best of breed solutions, right? Or solutions that are well spec'd to meet very specific workflow needs. So I think those are some of the challenges, and I think some of the trends that we're seeing is really putting together best of breed solutions.
Maybe expand a bit about what you mean by best of breed. It's another one of those kind of buzzwords that comes up. What do you look for in those types of solutions?
So really what we look for is, depending on what the application is, what the project might be, they all have very specific requirements. And one system from one vendor, might do a fairly decent job of handling that workflow, but it's surely not optimized for that type of a workflow. So when we say best of breed, can I select technologies that are purpose built for what I need, and can I integrate them into my day-to-day operation, right, into my IT infrastructure? So I think what you're seeing in not only the shipbuilding industry, but in the data industry as a whole, is you're seeing more integration of different vendors, different technologies, and different solutions, and then the need to actually have these solutions talk to each other.
I think another challenge shipbuilders have is they need return on investment quickly. They need to see value quickly. what are some of the steps they can take to get value quicker rather than, hey, maybe thinking that, oh, I need to implement everything all at once? What can they do incrementally to get to there?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there are a lot of things that organizations can do today to layer technologies on top of what they already have, right? So it doesn't have to be a sweep the floor type of mentality where, I have to scrap everything and start from fresh. I think there are steps that organizations can take to start reimagining their infrastructure, their data fabric, and their workflows, and start integrating technologies that complement the way they do things today, but help them get to where they need to tomorrow.
You mentioned data fabric a few times. Do you mind just elaborating
Sure.
What you mean by that?
Sure. So traditionally in the data world, people build isolated silos of data, right? That makes it increasingly difficult, number one, to protect that data and do it securely, but more importantly, to share it, right? And collaborate on that. So when I have data sitting in silos, like I said, it's isolated and it's very difficult to get access to. Data fabric takes, really, without getting into the very specific terms, a file system that extends across the organization so that I now have access to data that yesterday might have been living in its own locked box. Now I can share it amongst users across the company, across the world, by extending what we call a data fabric.
I'd like to switch gears a bit and talk about SSI and Peer and our partnership. It's exciting. We're announcing today kind of the start of it, and really it's even better because we already have a joint client that we're working with.
Right.
Do you mind talking a bit about the opportunity, just generally what we're doing?
Yeah, so I think, based on the solutions that SSI provides to its customers and to the industry, I think we complement that. So working together, on a large North American shipbuilder, the outcomes that we can deliver together for organizations, as an example, this particular customer was taking up to 45 minutes to open project files, right? And that has a direct impact on productivity. That impact on productivity can have far-reaching ramifications that could be financial, contractual, legal, et cetera, working together, providing them a solution, they're able to access those files now within seconds, right? So I think that our partnership enables organizations to complete projects faster, right? Shorten time to market, time to contract, and as well as protect themselves from business and legal exposures.
And looking forward, what are the goals for the partnership for you from your perspective?
At the end of the day, it's really about solving problems for customers. And I think together, we have very complementary solutions. So I would like to see that partnership grow as we continue to solve problems for more and more shipbuilding customers.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, Domenic. I'm so excited to see where the partnership goes, and hopefully see you next year with some more great news at WorkBoat.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate the conversation and enjoying the show.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.